step. As always, we'll start with the basics as if you've never shot a 2-foot hop. And within a few minutes, we'll progress to the top level. Now, to understand the following defensive reads, you must first understand what I mean by beating your defender clean. If you beat your defender clean, then he's behind you, on your back, and all that's left is to finish your drive, depending on help defense. But this section of the video deals with what to do if you've not beaten your defender clean. That is, he's still on your side with a chance to block or change your shot. Now, how did this happen? Well, maybe your threat to penetrate was not enough to make him retreat aggressively and allow you to shoot the 1-2. Or maybe your defender overplays you to one side. In other words, he doesn't play you square, but forces you in one direction. Regardless of how it happens, you've not beaten your defender clean. Now, let's begin to build it step by step and develop your footwork, reads, and eventually your 2-foot hop. Make your first step directly to the goal. Remember the straight lines of the V in Chapter 1. After the first dribble, create separation from the defender by pushing off with your inside foot. At this stage, just step to the side. Push away from your defender off the inside foot. If there's enough space, then shoot. But if the defender tries to recover, keep your dribble alive and read the angle. If he recovers straight towards you, along the line of your side step, then drive in the open space. If he recovers to cut off your line to the basket, cross over and take him in the other direction. To develop the hop back, start out by using a simple step back at a 45-degree angle. Once your steps are coordinated and you're ready to cover more ground, get air under both of your feet and the step back develops into a hop back. But I don't want you to think, based on these steps of development, that the hop is always at a 45-degree angle. The hop might be at any angle, as you'll see in a moment. So, let's take a more detailed look at the hop's footwork, starting in triple threat. The foot that was used to put on the brakes when you use the 1-2 is the same foot that initiates the hop. It's the inside foot, the one closest to the defender. An open step from triple threat with one dribble means 2 steps, get both feet in the air, and land on 2. A cross step from triple threat with one dribble means 1 step, get in the air, and land on 2 feet. The time you spend in the air is used to prepare your shot. While in the air, get square to the goal and chamber the ball into your shot pocket. When both feet hit the ground, it's up and out with your shot. Now, that's how to shoot in a 2-foot hop. But remember, the reason to use it is entirely different than the 1-2. After you've penetrated into the mid-range, whether from triple threat or off the dribble, the defender hasn't turned to retreat and is still close enough to bother your shot. The hop is used to create space away from this tight defender in order to get off your shot. Compare this cross-step 1-2 with the same move and an added hop. Look at how much more space is covered. The hop not only covers more ground, but allows you to change direction and land wherever you want. For a top-notch perimeter player on the 3-point line, the hop back allows you to drive into 2-point land, but hop back outside the arc for the 3. This is more easily done with a cross step and is another reason to be able to use either foot as a pivot. Develop these 2 weapons, each for their own purpose. The 1-2 for the quickest shot off the dribble, and the hop to create separation from defenders. But before we leave this chapter, let's return to the case where you've not beaten your defender clean. There's another tactic to consider. Instead of hopping back to create space, lean in on the defender as you drive to the goal. Several good things can happen. As long as you don't push off with your inside arm, 99% of the time the foul will be called against the defense. As you lean in, your defender may give in to your pressure instead of running the risk of a foul. If so, you've now beaten him clean and cut off his line of retreat. If he rides you all the way to the basket, then you'll have to finish with a defender on you. But that's the topic of our next chapter, finishing. Once you've driven past the mid-range, you'll be finishing at the goal. And you'll have to deal with your own defender who's still on your side or has managed to cut you off. But you'll also be reading and reacting to help defenders. Now, every time you get to the basket, things are slightly different based on your angle, spacing, number of defenders, all kinds of factors. So we can't cover every possible combination. But what I can do is train you to read and react to the 4 primary finishing situations. I say train you because you can practice the moves used in these situations. And if you can practice it, you can master it. Now, the moves required to handle these situations do require a certain amount of strength, body control, and athleticism. So be patient with yourself and keep after it until you master them. When you penetrate, the ideal result is that you beat your man clean. That is, he's behind you. Compare that to having only a half step on your defender. At the same time, you read that you can beat any help defender to the goal. This is the simplest of the 5 situations, and your main concern is to get the ball to the rim or in the white square as quickly as possible. The issue here is not power and going up strong, because there's nobody you need to go strong against. There's no physical contact. I don't even care which foot you jump off of or which hand you shoot with. I just want you to get